O Canada for us.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you very much, Joel. It is with a little bit of reluctance that I will announce that this will be Joel's last time attending to sing and lead us in O Canada. And it's been 24-ish years. He started with Mayor Schoen and has continued with every mayor since then. Joel, we very much appreciate it. I wonder if we could give you a little Christmas card to
well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Your assistance with us.
I appreciate the present council. I've enjoyed working with every council that I have worked with, and I do look forward to coming in and maybe just witnessing meetings, and hope that the incoming council will deliberate carefully and run our city fairly.
Thank you, Joel.
And thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Madam Clerk, are there any addendum or delegation items?
No, there are not.
Thank you very much. I'd entertain a motion to confirm our agenda. Moved by Councillor Bodnar, seconded by Councillor Doucette. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Are there any disclosures of interest this evening? There being none indicated, Madam Clerk, will you make a notation of that? Call for a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of Committee of the Whole 21-18 held on November 13th, 2018. Moved by Councillor Desmarais, second by Councillor Kenny. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next would be determination of items requiring separate discussion. There is only one report. Being none, call for approval of the item not requiring separate discussion. Moved by Councillor Main, seconded by Councillor Butters. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried as well. We have a number of presentations this evening to outgoing members of council, and I will go to the podium to address that. Our first presentation this evening is to Councillor Yvonne Doucette. Councillor Doucette, can you come forward, please? Councillor Doucette has served the residents of Ward 2 for 22 years, most recently from 2011 to 2018, and previously from 1989 to 2003. I understand that you will be spending a lot of time at his camp in the Gatineaus. We certainly appreciate your service. Can you appreciate the number of years that that Yvonne has been with us? That is incredible. Probably there's a number of long-serving councillors tonight, but and we thank them all. So on behalf of the members of City Council, staff, and the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of dedication to our community as a member of the Port Colborne City Council.
Thank you very much. Keep forgetting not to put anything on that because that sounds, the only thing I can say is thank you. Thank you to the citizens for giving me and allowing me the 22 years to serve everyone. Thank you to staff. We have a fantastic staff. I have nothing but good things to say about the staff. The staff have always gotten back to me when I've needed it, and they've always been prepared to explain when I don't understand, because with age, slowly, sometimes you don't understand everything the way everyone thinks you understand it. They've been very good. They've been excellent. To my councillors, the ones that are leaving and the ones that are staying, all I can say is this is nothing else but a big family, and what we try to do is make the best decision for the family of Port Colborne. That's the only way I can explain it. Sometimes it's difficult. We don't all get along together, but the bottom line is once a decision is made, the decision is made for everyone in Port Colborne, and this big family is the one that does that. And all I can say is thank you for being my friends, and thank you for allowing me and listening to me sometimes. Sometimes I can be loud, sometimes I can be, but the bottom line is we get an answer, and you people have been very good to that. And the last person I need to thank, and the last group of people, is my family. My wife, Carole, my children. Because of them, and because I did what I did and they allowed me to do it, all I can say is thank you. I'll be looking forward to the decisions made, and I'll be looking forward to everything that is going on. I'm here, but I'm not disappeared. I'll be around. And if there's anything that I can help with, I'll be around. I'll be somewhere. Who knows, maybe I'll show up and make a presentation somewhere along the line. Anything's possible. Even if I'm not on council, I can still make my views known. Thank you.
Next to the podium is B. Kenny, who also is a long-serving councillor. B, would you like to come forward? B has served the residents of Ward 3 for 21 years, most recently from 2007 to 2018, and previously from 1995 to 2003. She had just one short break of 3 years in between. I am sure we will continue to see Councillor Kenny as a member of one of our many committees as she continues to contribute to the community. And I sort of chuckle a little bit because I know that will happen. I know that she will keep the other committee members on their toes, and indirectly City Council as well. I would like to present this plaque to B in consideration of being a City Councilor in Ward 3. On behalf of members of City Council, staff, and all the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of dedication to our community as a member of Port Colborne City Council. B, congratulations.
Thank you. I just have a few words. I won't take too much of your time, but I got to start off with some words from Leanne Womack. She writes a song called I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one door opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get a choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. And that's what this has been for me. It has been the most enjoyable time ever. I've had some bad times and some rocky times, and people who know me know I speak my mind. But I have to start with thanking John. Because, John, you gave me a wake-up call when you got sick, and I had to sit in that chair up there. After 5 months, when you came back, I couldn't have been happier because it made me realize I did not want that job. I love serving the citizens of Port Colborne. I thank the residents, really, of Ward 3. It's because of them that I've got the opportunity to serve them, and it was certainly a pleasure. Ironic as it is, Mr. Bagu, who's just been elected this year, Mark Bagu, when I won in 1994, I beat his dad. So there was about, when I ran in 1994, there were 4 male candidates and myself, and I was nervous, but I thought to myself, Rosie did it. Rosie Szymanski did it, so they're going to want a woman again, and I was correct, and he got elected. But and also Frank Dant, who I've served with the last 2 terms. It's been great having you. I served with Gary Bruno, who's now back on. But Peter, his daughter was a little girl when I got on council, and he sent me pictures of him walking his daughter down the aisle. And I said to Peter, this is a wake-up call for me. You see her as a child, now grown up, and him walking her down the aisle. So that was something else. But to all my fellow councillors, it's been a pleasure working with you, even though sometimes, as Yvonne said, we differed in opinion. In the end, I felt we did a good job. And I think we left the city better than when I got on. And I know the councillors that are getting on this term, I've left the city in good hands for you to take care of. So I'm happy to be part of that. So I wish all of you the best of luck, and enjoy the dance, please. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call Councillor Barb Butters forward. Councillor Butters has served the residents of Ward 4 consecutively for the past 21 years, and she's not done serving the residents yet. As you know, Councillor Butters stepped away from her seat on City Council and received the nod from the constituents of Port Colborne to represent the City of Port Colborne as one of our 2 regional councillors. I know Councillor Butters will continue to put her strong work ethic into this new position. They will feel the sting of her comments from time to time. We look forward to hearing from you in the Regional Council Chamber over the next 4 years. It certainly needs someone of your stature. And I would like to present you the plaque of appreciation for your service with us today as a City Councilor. Barbara? Again, as a City Councilor for Ward 4, from 1998 to 2018, that's an incredibly long period of time.
Yes, it is.
On behalf of members of City Council staff and all the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of dedication to our community as a member of Port Colborne City Council.
Thank you so much. Yes. Wow, thanks everyone. My first thanks goes to Ward 4 because without them, I wouldn't have been sitting in that seat for 20-odd years. It's just been an absolute privilege to serve Ward 4, and I know that the ward is going to be in good hands with Ron and Harry coming up. My other thanks goes to our staff, who are, to me, much more than just a workforce. You've all been a teacher, you've been a confidant, a sounding board, a colleague, but most importantly, so many of you have become my friend. I want to thank you for your patience when I was cranky and impatient and kind of miserable. Your work here is second to none, and it's a comfort to know that the city is well served by each and every one of you. To Ron Bodner, I couldn't have asked for a better partner in Ward 4. I'm not quite sure how you're going to work out the good cop, bad cop thing with Harry, but good luck with that, Harry. To me, you've always been the best. To Frank and Yvonne and Dave and John, it's just truly been a pleasure to work with all of you. In one way or another, you've taught me things. In one way or another, you've inspired me. And I just want to wish you all well as you go forward. Yvonne, you've actually been the teacher of the group, but somehow I've had that benefit of being taught by so many here. To Angie and B, our personal friendship has been a treasure and a blessing. I'm expecting that will stay the same as usual. This working relationship will change, but that friendship certainly will only get stronger. I want to acknowledge your contribution and efforts to your constituents and to this city. You've just been absolutely tireless in your job, and I'm just so grateful to have both of you on speed dial. To Mayor Maloney, I have the highest regard and respect for you, sir. There have been times when I know I've been a real pain in the neck, and I know it hasn't been easy for you. I will always, always remember your kindness to myself and my family. And I hope you enjoy a very, very well-earned, so totally deserved retirement. I hope it's nothing but fun, fun, fun for you. And certainly last but not least, to my family and to the best friends that surround me. I couldn't do any of this without their love and their support. It just would not have been possible. It gets to be kind of a crazy roller coaster, and they've stuck with me for the ride. And for them, I'm very grateful. So I'm just going to close with what happens to be my favorite Margaret Mead quote. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Thanks for your time. Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Dave Elliott, City Councilor for Ward 1. Dave, could you come forward? Councillor Elliott has had a seat in the council chambers representing the residents of Ward 1 since 2011 and working tirelessly with the Downtown BIA. Councillor Elliott, I'm not sure what your next plans are. Maybe you can tell us. But I'm sure we will continue to see you out in the community making a contribution wherever you can. I would like to present you with this plaque to the acknowledgement of the appreciation that we have for you. Again, it's a Dave Elliott, City Councilor, Ward 1, 2011 and 2018. On behalf of members of City Council, staff, and all the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of service and dedication to our community as a member of the Port Colborne City Council. Councilor Elliott was always, on my left there, has always kept me on the straight and narrow, quite frankly, and whenever I made a small deviation from ordinary, Dave would bring it to my attention, and so perhaps not so subtle way, but David, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor Maloney. I didn't prepare anything because usually I don't, and speaking off the cuff is probably the easiest thing for me. And yes, I apologize for my outbursts at times, and that's just who I am. When I have something to say, I just want to say it. So I'll begin with senior staff. I've grown to have the utmost respect for you, and I hope that my interactions and conversations with you reflect that. You do lead this city and lead your staff and your departments very professionally. And we do have a very, very fantastic staff. And I wish you would relate that to everybody that works underneath you. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. I've always felt when I've walked into City Hall or into engineering and operations that I'm invading others' space, that it's their job for 40 hours a week to come to this place and to any of the buildings that the city owns. And I always felt that I was intruding on them, and I've always asked, you know, do you have an extra second to spare so I can have a conversation with you? And everybody's always dropped what they were doing to come and talk to me, which I appreciate wholeheartedly and really respect the way that they treated me. So please pass along my thanks to them. I got to point out a couple of people in particular, Ashley, who had the distinct privilege to sit beside me for 7 years and survived. Amber gets a reprieve. she only had a few months, so she gets lucky. But if anybody would ask me 20 years ago what you saw in your future, sitting on a city council anywhere, wouldn't have been one of my plans. So this has been the experience of a lifetime, something I'll never forget. It's probably been one of the best times of my life, save and except for number 1 son, number 2 son, 3 grandkids, and 1 more on the way. So this ranks right up there. But it truly has been a pleasure, and I just want to thank the residents of Ward 1 and the residents of Port Colborne as a whole. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you. I made all my decisions based on what I thought was going to be the best for everybody. That's the only way that I could make a decision. What is in the best interest of the citizens, and what is in the best interest of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne. So I just want to say thanks again for everything. 2 people I want to point out though tonight, in particular. One is our CAO, Scott Louie. This is going to be hard for me. Scott's been a sounding board for me and has been there and taken on my phone calls, whether they're real phone calls or not. I'm sure he'll get that. So I really appreciate that. And the hardest part right now is what Scott's going through. And I know that from staff and from all of City Council, sometimes you hear thoughts and prayers and you read that and it's just thoughts and prayers. But truly, from the bottom of my heart, our thoughts and our prayers are with you and your family. I know what you're going through. We're kind of going through the same thing with our family, so I can identify with it. And just please pass that along to Alex and your family, and that we'll always keep you in our hearts. The second person I wanted to point out, and I don't want to point out any councilors in particular because I loved working with everybody, but the one person I want to say thanks to the most is Ron Bodner, for a couple of reasons. Ron was kind of like a mentor to me. I learned a lot from him. Ron always conducted himself in an absolute statesman-like manner, and he is a true gentleman through and through, personifies what a gentleman should be. And if there was more people like Ron in politics, politics would be a much better place. So I just want to say thank you for all that you've shown me, how to be reasonable, how to see both sides of the equation, and how to judge things on their face, and also what it means to everybody else. So I just want to say thanks for all the years of putting up with me, my wild antics, wild thoughts, and actually teaching me how to rationalize things and be reasonable with things. So I appreciate the time that you have taken and spoken with me, and I appreciate your thoughts and inputs onto everything we've decided. So you'll probably see me around. We'll see what happens in the future. You never know. But just thanks for everything.
Our next plaque this evening is to John Wayne, City Councilor for John Maine. Sometimes it feels like John Wayne when he's chatting.
I go with John Wayne.
Thank you. Councilor Maine was new to the council, chambers for 4 years, representing the residents of Ward 1. John was a fresh light at the table and brought his community-mindedness forward at every opportunity. We wish you all the best in your retirement, John. There's no question when John spoke, we listened, because he was short and sweet and right to the point and very frank. And sometimes we need a kick in the rear end to bring that forward. So John, on behalf of City Councilor for Ward 1, 2015 and 2018, on behalf of members of City Council staff and all the citizens of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of dedication to our community as a member of Port Colborne City Council, and we're very appreciative that you came back to join us following your brief sojourn for medical reasons. I know what that's like. John?
Thanks an awful lot. I have a little bit of trouble speaking, and that's not normal for me, but that's how it's going to work. But I really appreciate staff and everybody else who helped me out. I was awed by a lot of the things that you people say and people do, and I appreciate it a lot. And I want to also announce, or not announce, what were we talking about now? No. Where we used to live. There were 3 of us lived on that street, and that helped me out quite a bit just by listening to these two. But I know I'm the shortest one to speak, and there's a reason for it. But I really, really thank everybody for things are going on, and I think the city is really going to boom. Might not happen in General Motors, but it's going to happen here. So thank you very, very, very much. Appreciate it.
And finally, I would like to recognize our outgoing regional councilor, David Berry. David, can you come forward, please? Regional Councilor David Barrick has served the residents of Port Colborne on Niagara Regional Council for the last 8 years. Prior to that, he served 4 years as a city councilor. I'm sure, David, your growing family will be glad to have you back on weekends and during the week as well. Being able to spend more time with them is certainly a priority, and you're to be congratulated for making that decision. I would like to present you with a plaque to David Barrick, Regional Councilor, 2011-2018. On behalf of members of City Council, staff, and all the residents of the City of Port Colborne, we would like to thank you for your years of dedication to our community as a representative on Regional Council. And I can attest to the fact that we wouldn't have a police station in our community today had it not been for the intervention of David Barrick with the powers that be at Regional Council. And it'll be important for the new council to continue to fight for that station, which is so important for our residents. David, congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. And I had a few words to say at the last regional council meeting, so I'll try to be very brief today. I think it's fitting my first appearance as an elected official was in these council chambers, and so my last appearance as an elected official is in these council chambers, so I think it's very fitting. I really want to thank my family for sharing a lot of my time. Everyone here knows how much time is involved in reading material and being involved and active in making informed, educated decisions. I really want to thank the residents of Port Colborne who have expressed their confidence in me by allowing me to serve them for the last 12 years. And I'm proud of the achievements that collectively we have achieved, both as a city and as a region. Most recently, keeping property taxes below the rate of inflation while bringing in over $40 million worth of investments this term alone. So Port Colborne received more money from the region this term than they've spent at the region this term. And that's not easy, it comes with friction. And so you've seen a lot of that friction, but the results, I believe, were worth it. And so I'm reminded of when I was a city councilor, and my daughter was much younger, she's 13 now, but about 10 years ago, 3 or 4 years old or something like that. And I was engaged with the city, coming to a lot of meetings, and so leaving the house. And in one instance, she had asked me when she was young if I was going to Silly Hall. Daddy, are you going to Silly Hall? I never corrected her. I I agreed, yes, Silly Hall. So it's a friendly reminder, and although the work we do is extremely serious, extremely important, that even when there's friction, never to take it too seriously. And so if I can impart a bit of advice to new counselors coming in, is there's a lot of things that is going to get under your skin. Don't take it too seriously. Just focus on the task at hand and focus on the deliverables for our residents and taxpayers. So thanks to each and every one of you who have served this term. Thanks for everyone who ran, and for those who didn't get elected, that's okay. Please try again. And for the incoming counselors as well, looking forward to your service, and thank you for running. And Mayor Maloney, thank you especially. It's been an honor and pleasure to work with you at the region as well. So thank you for your leadership and service. Thank you, Dan.
No. Tonight I bid my fellow councilors and senior staff a goodbye as well. I wish the municipality the very best in the years to come. This council hopes that we have continued to build on a foundation that was provided to us 4 years ago. Only someone who has served on municipal council can truly appreciate the work and responsibility that a council position entails. Only someone who has served in the municipal council can truly appreciate the support and assistance that our municipal staff provide to us. From the excellent advice of our CAO, Scott Louie, and the senior directors who are at the front counter here, to the front counter cashiers, our snow removal operators, our water clerks, our library attendants, our museum curators, bylaw enforcement officers, planners, firefighters, engineering staff, and the list goes on and on. Each and every one does their job with dedication and pride, and in the end, City Council perhaps looks good, but the real driving force are the staff behind us, and we thank them for that. Together with Council, we made this commitment to function for the betterment of our residents. It's been a pleasure working with each and every one of you on Council, and each and every one of the senior directors and their staff as well. Special thank you to Nancy Giles, the assistant to the mayor and CAO. I don't know whether Nancy's still with us or not. On many occasions, she could be the CAO. She does a fantastic job keeping us on track, and we had tried to encourage Scott to leave before this meeting because his son is having surgery tomorrow, but no, he toughed it out and is staying here, and we thank him for that. And last of all, I'd like to thank my this is an ad lib. I'd like to thank my family for supporting me over the years. I always talk in this voice. They were a steady campaign team, and again, as has been said earlier, without them behind you, you wouldn't be much, and I apologize for crying, but I did it when I was installed as well, so it's a nice conclusion to the situation. Scott, thank you.
You did your acceptance speech before I gave you the award. But, just super quickly, before addressing the mayor, on behalf of staff who are here and staff who don't come to council meetings, everyone who came up here had something kind to say about city staff, and on behalf of staff, thank you for the 4 years and beyond that all of us worked with you. Without good relations between staff and council, what happens in this room doesn't work. What happens in the morning when we come in to this building or out there doesn't work. So those relationships between council and staff are very important to all of us. And I think Mayor Maloney, I won't read the plaque, Mayor Maloney is the embodiment of that relationship and has been, I think, a good leader to all of us on council and on city staff. You would never have Mayor Maloney come into your office and say, I want answers and I want them now. He was always saying, hold it a minute, let's get to the bottom of this before we move on. And that's the kind of leadership that was very helpful. Mayor Maloney, His public service record speaks for itself. Many years as our local representative at Parliament in Ottawa, and then he came back. He was on our Chamber of Commerce and did other work in the community, and then of course gave more of himself to us, of his service to us, by coming back as mayor. And I know how important family is to Mayor Maloney. It's not the first time I heard that squeaky voice that he referred to. So we send him back to you with love, and with our gratitude and council's gratitude and staff's gratitude, as well as the whole entire city, for his years of service to the community.
Thank you, Scott. Good news. I'm not going to give my speech a second time. So we'll carry on with the meeting. Thank you all. It was a pleasure working with you. Okay. There are no delegations, I believe, Madam Clerk. A mayor's report, roughly about the community. It's been a busy week coming up. Santa Claus will be arriving on the pilot boat on West Street at 1 p.m. this coming Saturday, and then proceeding to the Guildhall to meet with our children. The Santa Claus parade was also this Saturday night, starting from Port Colborne High School and leading through the downtown core. It is always a colorful community event that starts the festive season. Come and enjoy the fun and enjoy your community. Museum Grand Old Christmas, it returns this Sunday at the museum grounds from 12 to 4 p.m. Again, come and enjoy the carriage rides, chestnut roasting, a visit with Santa, Arabella's tea and Christmas pudding, and the various exhibits throughout the ground. The library has also an open house on December 1st, so it's going to be a very busy weekend in Port Colborne, and we encourage you all to come out and enjoy it. It's a good old small town Christmas. And as we lead into the Christmas season, let me perhaps be one of the first to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we look forward to we'll be setting those seats, looking at what the new council will be doing, and chatting about their conduct with us, especially John Main. Mr. Barry, would you have a regional councilor's report? No, sir. No? That's good. That's good. Because we'll get to the bottom of the agenda quicker. Are there any councilors' issues or inquiries? Any items that you would like to say in addition? Yes, Councilor Kenny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Elliott mentioned it in his speech, but I did tell Scott I was going to ask every single one of you, and that's everybody that's out in Cogeco land that is listening, or anybody that might be listening, to pray for Alex Louis. I believe in the power of prayer. My son, when he was Alex's age, had a brain tumor, and his prognosis was not good. But the power of prayer then, as it does many other times, it saves people. This young man is only 14 years old, just turned 14 this year, and he needs every single person in this room and every single member of your family and anyone that you know to pray for him, especially tomorrow when he undergoes surgery at 8 o'clock. Pray for the surgeon who's doing that. Continue to pray for her full recovery for that young man, because it's possible. I believe in the power of prayer. And there's only one person And that's our Lord and Savior. That can make a difference for him. So please, 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 make it a priority in your prayer chain. I have my whole church praying for him now, and I know that others go and do the same. And I can believe we can see a victory for him. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Fine words, Councillor Kenny. Thank you. Is there anyone here on the left? Yes, Councillor Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like to say to the councillors that are outgoing and the mayor that it's been an extreme pleasure to work with all of you. I think we've done some good things, and you've certainly made a difference. And your commitment was absolutely sound. You've made the city better, and I hope we can continue on. I'm sure with the new councillors we will, but it has been an absolute pleasure. And for my counterpart in Ward 4 over there, although she's shifting jobs, it's been a real pleasure to work with you, Barb. I think that if I'm not sitting in this seat at some point, I'd like a city councillor just like you to represent me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bodner. Anyone else have any further comments? There being none, are there any members of staff that have a response to previous councillor inquiries? There being none indicated, thank you. Are there any notices of motion, Madam Clerk?
No, there are none.
Okay, at this point, I would look for Councillor Dench's hand to support the motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Dench, second by Councillor Doucette. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. This concludes the regular meeting of Committee of the Whole, but we can't go home yet. We have a regular council meeting. It's the regular council meeting of Council 2818, held today, Monday, November 26th, following the Committee of the Whole meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. Are there any addendum items, Madam Clerk?
No, there are none.
I entertain a motion to confirm the agenda. Moved by Councillor Butters, second by Councillor Kenny. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Are there any disclosures of interest this evening? There are none indicated. It shall be noted. Madam Clerk, I call for adoption of minutes in bulk. The first meeting is a special meeting of Council 26-18 held on November 13th, 2018, and the regular meeting of Council 27-18 held on November 13th, 2018. Call for a motion to adopt those minutes, moved by Councillor Bodner, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Determination of items requiring a separate discussion. There are none. Consideration of proclamations. Are there any proclamations, Madam Clerk?
No, there are none.
Number 8, consideration of items requiring separate discussion. Number 7? Yes. I'm getting conflicting advice up here, but I call for a motion to approve the single item not requiring separate discussion. Moved by Councillor Desmarais, seconded by Councillor Kenny. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Any minutes of boards, commissions, and committees? There are none. Again, there are no proclamations. Bylaws, Madam Clerk, can you read those out for us?
6629-84-18, being a bylaw to adopt an interim control bylaw for all lands within the city of Port Colborne. 6630-85-18, being a bylaw to authorize entering an agreement with MHBC for the completion of a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And 6631-86-18, being a bylaw to adopt, ratify, and confirm the proceedings of Council of the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne at its regular meeting on November 26, 2018.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve those bylaws. moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Demeray. All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried unanimously. Now, I entertain a motion of council to move into closed session. And the motion is to go into closed session is that council will now proceed into closed session in order to address the following matters. A, minutes of the closed session portion of the following council meeting, November 13th, 2018. And B, Chief Administrative Officer, Special Projects and Corporate Strategic Initiatives Division Memo, re-update concerning the Nyan Energy Lands and the Nyan Tack Farm property, pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001, subsection 2392E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Call for a motion to accept that. Moved by Councillor Doucette, second by Councillor Danch. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. We now move into closed session. Thank you for those in attendance tonight. Now we're going to move into closed session, which is confidential. And thank you all for coming, and look forward to seeing you here in the...